Hello, welcome to take two. This is a mama in a robe sipping some coffee, just talking about what's going on. I've been brainstorming, trying to see how I could make this work. Sometimes, whenever you're at your lowest of lows, the best comes out. So, I have taken it upon myself to write down notes upon notes of things that I would like to commit to try to make this work. I've watched so many fantastic YouTubers since the beginning of YouTube. One of them which is Colleen Ballinger. I love you, Queen. Recently, I have been watching podcasts, not just relax from Colleen and Eric, but also Roman Atwood. And I've been watching some random shorts here and there. And there's a bunch of other podcasts that I watch. It kind of started inspiring me a little bit to see if I can give a raw tale of motherhood and life of a newly stay-at-home mom, not by choice. So stick around. I hope you enjoy what I'm about to say. I'm very much a newbie. I don't know how to edit videos. I don't know how to do anything. I bought a microphone. How much was this? 40, 50 bucks? I'm not sure. I'm trying. I at least am trying. So I hope to do this regularly. Mostly, probably wee early in the morning, before anyone is awake, so that I know I'm not bothered. I have a 3-year-old that's currently laying in my bed watching my phone, so I could do this. I am almost 32 weeks pregnant, and I was attempting to take a nap, but my brain has just been spiraling out of control, not knowing where to go from here mentally. So here it goes. So in my handy dandy notebook, written in sparkly gel ink, I wrote down plans that I have with YouTube, and I wrote down a list of topics that I wanted to be semi-organized in this so that I don't sound repetitive. I have no idea what the last video I posted was. I do believe I was home with my kids at that time. My daughter loves YouTube. She's 6 now. At the time, I believe she was 4. And she taught everyone how to make certain things from Play-Doh. I think it was a turtle. Try not to cry, because it's very sweet. It's something that she loves doing. And so I'm not just doing this for myself to try to see what can come out of it, but she's so creative, and it inspires her. So I'm hoping that this will show a lot of creativity from her, and hopefully help help myself in the long run. When I started YouTube prior, I wanted to do daily vlogs. I wanted to do what my role models were doing, such as Colleen Ballinger, Ellie and Jared, Roman Atwood, and a couple other people that are newer to YouTube that were discovered off TikTok. So I've watched different people coming from different walks of life. So I'm hoping this will turn into something. If it doesn't, it's okay. It's a great diary, if anything. I'm hoping this consists of raw, real material of struggle. This is going to talk about, if you hear certain things, my dogs are snoring, sleeping next to me. But anyway, this is going to take part of real raw material coming from a mama of currently 3 girls. I have a 6-year-old, a 3-year-old, and an almost 18-month-old, and I'm pregnant with girl number 4, almost 32 weeks. I will go in detail and talk about those things. Also, pre-pandemic, during the pandemic, what has happened? A lot has happened. It has mentally and emotionally drained my husband and I and our family, and where we're at right now. So I'm going over my bullet points. If you're wondering where I'm looking, I have my notebook is being held up against a Halloween cap my daughter picked out 2 years ago that I can't let go of. And it has topics. What has happened since the last video? So much has happened. We've lost businesses, gone through a spouse with an addiction problem, as well as overworking, trying to make ends meet, seeing where we are in the world, jumping from rental to rental and in between family homes. We traveled cross country, which if you look at my past videos, some videos were taken over in California. I currently reside in Florida, and so much has happened. We lost a lot, gained a lot, and we're struggling, but that's okay. I think a lot of us are right now. I will be going into detail about that. So since the last video, which was, I believe we were in around the Tampa, Florida area, we moved from California in hopes of having our business flourish, which unfortunately we had to turn in due to the pandemic and loss of business from that over in California. This was the time where people from California were leaving, and we had to leave too. We couldn't afford a minimum of $3,000 a month, and we were going to try to cram. Almost 5 of us in a 2-bedroom apartment in California, but we couldn't do it. I was pregnant with my 3rd, and we had the business expenses. We were tempted to get an apartment over there to stay in California. However, we knew it wasn't going to work for us financially, and we were forced to have to leave. We were given a deadline to leave a family member's house, and we left. And so we traveled cross country in a minivan. Thankfully, did not break down. When we traveled cross country, we left all of our stuff behind because we moved everything that we owned into a pod, had it shipped from Florida to California, and we had no money. We had to leave everything there. We had maybe $600 in our account, and the other money we put down on a place to live over in Florida, sight unseen, which is another story. But we traveled. All of us went from Marietta, California to Tampa, Florida. I was pregnant, like I said, with my 3rd, and I had to do everything from peeing on the side of the road to taking care of the kids during this trip, because we did drive nonstop, and it was very difficult. However, it's definitely an experience if you're not, obviously, if you have the financial abilities and feel like you can do it, it's definitely worth traveling cross country and just seeing the differences from one side of the country to the next. It's definitely something that you'll always take with you. But we traveled from there to Florida in about a week, and we stepped foot in our rental home, which is part of the last video that we were in. It was the cheapest home we could find in the safest community, close to where my husband was employed previously. and it was not a very good sight. We had to deal with a lot of issues. That's what happens when you get a place sight unseen. Trash. The previous people were drug addicts, and so I have found needles, paraphernalia. There was feces and urine from animals. There was rats. There was cockroaches squished on the walls. The landlord or their contractor decided to not flush the toilet, and the smell went throughout the house. It was a small little, it was a small house, but we made do. We had to sleep on the floor on a blow-up mattress for a while I was pregnant, and thankfully, my children did not have to endure that. We made sure that we were able to take their cribs or pack and play or whatever we could apart to make sure that they were in a secure place to sleep in that home. It was a roof over our head. It had walls. It was fine. It was great, at least for that time. But there was a lot of cleaning that we had to do to make it livable. The landlord was not really willing to do very much, which is unfortunate. Thankfully, it was in a decent neighborhood and community, and so we felt safe walking out. It's just indoors. It was not fun. It took months, almost the entire term lease, to make it the way we wanted it. Prior to moving to Florida, we had to turn in our work truck. My husband did steam cleaning for residential and business ownership, which I can talk about at a later time, that process. But we had to turn that in, and we didn't have a choice but to drop everything and leave. So when we came back to Florida, thankfully there was a job. He has machinist experience, so he was able to jump into work right away. And we're talking 70 to 80 hours a week, which is a lot of stress because we had to catch up on bills and we had to pay back family for our move in the first place. That helped us out, so we had monthly expenses that was reoccurring. So we had to take care of our responsibilities. Where are we now? Like I said, I'm going to go into detail of the situation that we have been in. However, where we're now, we're happier. I will say that. We are happier. The place that we live in, we made sure it's a newly constructed rental home. It's in the center part of Florida. I'm not going to exactly say where, but it's more reasonably priced, even though you have to travel quite a distance to get to town. And the schools may not be the best schools, but it's something. My daughter's getting an education. My husband goes to work, and I'm currently now home. I no longer work. I lost my job, and I was a director for a fast service eating establishment, and I lost my job due to attendance inconsistency because my children would get sick and then I would get sick, especially being pregnant. I was prone to illnesses pretty easily, and we had a babysitter, of course, but we couldn't put their family into jeopardy, especially when COVID went through the house and certain illnesses were going through. It seems like as soon as kids go to school, especially my daughter who's in kindergarten, sickness was it feels like a daily occurrence. We just recently felt like we can actually breathe. It's been almost halfway through the school year. It's ridiculous. But we have 3 children. We got me and my husband. So it kind of went through the household. She gets it. My other 2 get it. One of them, the 3-year-olds, may have signs of asthma. So when she gets something like that, it's scary. It's no fun at all. But long story short, because of those inconsistencies and the confusion within my previous job of letting me work from home and then taking that away, um, you can't blame them. They have a business to run. They can't handle attendance inconsistencies because of things that were out of my control, but it just added up, and they ended up letting me go. Um, which is very, it was very sad. It was very unfortunate. I worked really hard in that job, and I loved my job. I was able to create and build training systems within the business to help see it flourish. And so I was very much hands-on um, on the detailed side of things to make sure the business flourishes. So I took care of the guest hospitality side of things and the team member hospitality side of things to make sure everything came together very nicely. And when you do something like that, you structure a system that works best, and you can see it grow. And then you tweak it where it needs to be tweaked, and you train it, and you watch it grow and be and flourish, which I really enjoyed. I tried pleading for my job back. It's just they weren't willing. They weren't willing to do it. I'm pretty sure they were struggling financially. It's a franchisee, so I'm pretty sure they had to pay the company. They said they had to pay the last couple months quite a few $1,000s a month to cover their side of expenses. So I'm pretty sure that there's a more to the story than just that. But now I'm home. It's been almost a month since I've been home, I would say, almost. And it's been good. It's just been scary. Our income is now cut in half, and we have bills. We're still paying family back, even though it's been 2 years since the journey from California. And we just recently got our stuff back after 2 years as well, which is very emotional because I was going through things, and you can see baby clothes, home decor, and now we have our stuff, which is great, but we had to pay to get that stuff. We had to pay to get our property back so that we can actually make it a home. And it's just unfortunate that it took that long, and we had to do things to be able to get our property back and no longer sleep on the floor, which it's only been 2 weeks that we have not been sleeping on the floor, which I'm grateful for. But that's where we are now, and I'm trying to do my best. So I'm trying to put my best foot forward into doing this. This may look like a podcast setup. I did try looking at it and making it into like a podcast type of feel, because I don't know if daily vlogs right now is something that I can handle because I don't know how to edit. I don't know how to do any of that stuff. So I was thinking about going to my local church that do podcasts and videos to see if they can show me certain techniques that are easy enough for me to take. I have to make this short. My 3-year-old just came out here. Told me I had to read the instructions for the microphone, which is pretty self-explanatory. I'm trying. We'll see how that works. But anyway, I wanted to do a podcast setup. I looked into Spotify and to see what I had to do, but it's kind of confusing. I feel like it's going to take me some time. It's kind of learn into that and to see what happens with it. So I have to look into the whole podcast situation and see what I have to do for that. I think I would have to see how this works out first. And see if it would be in my benefit. So if you want to support me, please hit like and subscribe. That'd be fantastic. Hopefully, I'm hoping I can try to see what I can do. I'm also going to take on, I have a TikTok, and I'm hoping to do more on there as well as create some shorts so that I can follow the algorithm. It seems like podcast style and shorts are the way to go right now. So we'll see. I hope to turn this into something. I hope I can inspire other people, and also have something to look back on as time moves forward. Um, some topics and plans I hope to talk about is an update on my pregnancy. Like I said, I am coming up to 32 weeks pregnant. I'm due in January. Another thing I hope to talk about is updates on my kids and see where they are now, and my fear of public school, and my oldest daughter that's currently in public school right now. It's our first experience with public school. She's in kindergarten. Okay. You hear my 3-year-old. She's going to play with slime, so please excuse me. But I'm going to be talking about that. I'm going to be talking about our search for who we are and how we've been trying to make money, and what have we tried and what has not worked. I have experience in starting a nonprofit. I would like to talk about what it was in my experience and what happened with that. I'd like to talk about student loan debt and my hates and loves with pregnancy, and I'm hoping to do interviews with my children, my 6-year-old and my 3-year-old at least, and give them individual updates on their growth and development and what we're doing to highlight their achievements and creativity in what makes them who they are. I'm really excited. No matter what, I think I'm going to continue this so that I mentally know that I'm trying, not just for me, but also for my family. But thank you so much for, yes, thank you. Thank you so much. My 3-year-old is behind playing with slime, but I'm about to wrap this up, so I'm not too concerned. But thank you so much for sticking with me these past 20 minutes so that I can explain where I'm going from here and what's to come. I hope to see comments. I hope to interact with all of you. I hope it make a difference. Thank you, everybody. Cheers to coffee.